Hello, welcome to the guide for the final integration project. First, begin by opening Excel and creating your jobs code table. You can come up with any job. It can be hairstylist, landscaping company, anything. I'm going to do a lot landscaping company, like the example. You make up your own. So I'm going to come up with the title right here. You can make it up, and then there's going to be 3 columns. One's going to be the job code. The next is going to be job description. And the next is going to be the rate in which they are paid per hour. Oops. Now you would come up with around 5 jobs. So your job code will be sequential, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your job description is going to be, I don't know, shoveling snow. Come up with 5 other jobs. So mowing a lawn, flower planting, pulling weeds, fertilizing, and trimming bushes or something. So auto fit these. Now rate per hour, just make it realistic. So I don't know what they get paid, but we'll say $5 an hour for shoveling snow, $4 an hour for mowing a lawn, $3 an hour for $2.75, and $3.50. Next, we're going to want to make it nicer and format the cells. So start off formatting these to currency. We'll merge and center the title on the top 3. You can also make it a little bigger, add some color, do whatever you need to do. Center these 3. Make this look nice. Next, what you're going to do is grab their whole table and then come up here and name your table. I'm going to name it job code table. Make sure there's no spaces or characters or numbers in it, or it won't work. You just have to use letters and then enter. So that table is called job code table. We'll use that in the future. Continue to make it look nice however you want. Maybe add a border to all of these. Alright, next we're going to go on to sheet 2. We'll also name this sheet job codes. Next is sheet 2, the data table. It says to begin by completing sheet 2. Create your own company name in A1. So my company name is Rogers Landscaping. Then merge and center the title into A1 through M2. So we're going to merge and center that. Make it bigger and make it look nice. Next, we're going to make the headings. So we have all the headings in the instructions. So it goes job number, date in which the job was completed, their first name and their last name, their address, city, state, and zip, job code, which we'll reference from in the previous table, along with the rate of the job, the total cost, and the description of the job. We'll also need the total amount of hours it took to complete the job. So we can grab this whole row and we can wrap the text and then make the columns look professional. So center them. These look good. These look. That one can be a little longer since it is a description of the job. Also, you're going to want to probably bold these and put a bottom border on. Oops. Put a bottom border on just the headings. Now it tells us to add a minimum of 10 clients and addresses. You make them up. So for the number one, I'm just going to do job number 1. And then this one's going to be 2, 3, etc. The date, make up the date. I'm just going to do June 1st, 2015. And come up with the name. Just come up with Rick James. Address, make up an address. Doesn't have to be real. Just make it kind of realistic. The city, make that up, make them all up. And I don't know what the address or the zip in Chicago is. Or Grand Rapids is, so I'm just gonna make that up too. Alright, now we're at the job code spot. This is where we're going to want to do a VLOOKUP. So we're going to use a VLOOKUP formula. V equals VLOOKUP. We're going to... Okay, scratch that. Job code we don't do a VLOOKUP on. That's just going to be typed in. So we'll say 1 for that. And then we're going to move this whole cell. We're going to put that right here. So we can just insert and drag this right here. Total amount of hours, we're going to make that up too, so I don't know, 12. This is where we're going to want to do the VLOOKUP on these three. On these two. This one's going to be a different formula. So this is going to be equals VLOOKUP, we're going to be looking up the job code number, so 1, comma, we're going to look it up in the table array of job code table. That's where we referenced name the table, comma, and we're going to be looking in which column. This is column 1, 2, and 3. We want the rate of the job, so we're going to be looking in the third column. So we're going to put in 3 right there. So we can just erase that. 3. And then it's going to be an exact match, so it's going to be false. Close the parentheses and enter. The rate of the job is $5. I'm also going to switch these two, just since the total cost will be at the end, and make it look nicer. Just auto-fit these. Alright, we're going to want to do a VLOOKUP here too. So it's going to be equals VLOOKUP. We're going to be looking up the value for the job code, so that's going to be I4 again, comma, same table, so it's job code table, comma, it's going to be the second column this time because we're looking for the description of the job instead of the rate, and it's going to be an exact match also. Close the parentheses, and you have the shoveling snow. Total charge is going to be the total amount of hours times the rate of the job. So we're going to do equals J4 times K4 equals. There we go. We got the foundation of it now. We can auto-fit most of these, maybe make them a little bigger so they look nicer. And then you add 10 more clients. Since it was redundant, just did that while I was offline. So we have the formulas for these 3, so we can simply grab one of the cells and then come into the fill box and then double click and it'll drag it down all the way. Same with this one and the total charge. We're going to want to change our formats to our cells, so it's going to be currency in these 2. And for date, it's going to be date, short date. Oops, got a mistake right here. There. Now all we have to do is make it look nicer, and we should be good on this table. Also change the name to your data table. And just make this look nicer, and you should be good with this table. Next, we're going to go on to the comparison data sheet. So we're going to make another sheet. Name it comparison data sheet. In this one, we have to, in row number 1, make headings for the following codes. So we're going to start off with job code. Oops, no. Next is going to be the service, or the description of the service. Next is going to be the rate per hour. Total hours. And the total charge. This is going to be the total of the totals. We go right here and auto-fit all of the cells. So for the job codes, we're going to want to add all 6 of the jobs. Or I think I did 6. Yep. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our service is going to be a VLOOKUP. Same thing we did in the other sheet. Our lookup value is the job code, comma. Our table array is the job code table, comma. Our column index is 2, because that's what we're pulling. From which column we're pulling it from, comma, and it's going to be an exact match. Close the parentheses and enter. And it should pop up with your thing. You can drag this one down all the way. Auto fit it. Our rate per hour is going to be another VLOOKUP. Same thing as we did in the other sheet. It's going to be equals VLOOKUP. We're looking up job code. We're going to look up that in the job code table. It's going to be the third column this time, not the second. It's going to be an exact match. Enter. We can drag this down and make it currency. Our total hours is going to be the total amount of hours within our data sheet table. So it's going to add every hour per shoveling snow. So it's going to look for all the shoveling snows in this table. I guess there's only one, but we can do, it's going to be add all the mowing lawns. So it's going to look for mowing lawn in this table. It's going to go here and get all three of the mowing lawns and add them together. So our formula for that is going to be a SUMIF formula. Our range is going to be our data table. It's going to be the I4. It's going to be this whole table right here. Okay, my bad. For the SUMIF formula, our range is going to be what we're looking, in which cells we're looking for it. So it's going to be these cells, because we're going to look for our job code, and these are all of our job codes within our table. So that's going to be our range. Our criteria will be our job code, which is A2. You gotta add a comma. Oh, no, I don't. And then comma. And then our sum range is going to be what we're adding. So it's going to be the total amount of hours. Those cells. So essentially it's going to come into this table, look for all the job codes that begin with 2, 3, 4, 1, doesn't matter. And then it's going to look for all those cells. Oh shoot. It's going to look for all those cells. So say it's looking for 2. It'll look for these 2 and add up all of these numbers. And that'll give us our total amount of time. So I'll do that formula again. SUMIF. Our range is going to be where it's looking for our job codes. So that's this. Comma. Our criteria is what it's looking for. That's going to be this. Comma. And our sum range is going to be what it's adding. So it's going to be adding the total amount of hours. Close that parenthesis and enter. See, it's 12. That one's kind of easy because there's only one shoveling snow in there. but for mowing a lawn it should be more than those. Right. Trimming bushes. Didn't work. But we can check it out by going to all of our things. Mowing lawn would be 4. And we have another one at 3. And we have another one at 8. Add that all together and that's 15. We can check them all. So plant flowering. We got 1 right there at 9, but that's all we got, so that's that. Pulling bushes. We got 1 at 5 and 1 at 8. So it should be around 13. Yep. Fertilizing is 2.5. So I'll fix that. Okay, I see what I did wrong. You notice how it starts out at the right one, which we typed in, but as we go down it goes to I5 through I14. We want to make these absolute. So we can just go here and change them all to I4 through I13 along with these. Okay, so once you got all these, both of these to an absolute, see how these are the same, except the 13 and 14. We can just change that to 14. See how these are the same now? We can grab these two and just drag them down and bring all of our formulas to absolute. Next we're going to do the total charge, which is a pretty easy formula. It's just going to times the two of these together. So we can do equals the total amount of hours, equals the total amount of hours times the rate per hour, and that will give us our total overall charge. You can drag that one down too. We're probably going to want to make these look nice too, so we can make these a little bigger and make it look nice. Next it tells us to make a pie and column chart. So we'll start off with the pie chart. To create it we have to show the market share using the last names and the total time in the data table for your criteria. So to do this, we have to go over to the data table and grab this column and then press and hold Control and grab this column. Then from here we can just add the chart. This will show you what per last name their contribution market share to your company. This we can just cut and paste it into this sheet. Change the title to market share. And it says to add a percentage to the graph and make it white font and place it on the inside end. So to add percentages, we grab the pie, click here, this should pop up, and you click Data Labels. From here we can go on to this sidebar thing, and we can do inside end. Now we can click on the number, go to the 3-bar chart right here, and it'll say label options, value, percentage, all of these. We're going to want to uncheck the value and check the percentage. And to do that to all of them, you just do the same thing, but you click out here. You can do that inside end. Double click on these, go here, label options, change that to a percentage, not a value. It's on the inside end, so that's fine. And you do what you want, but I think I'm going to bold mine and make it a white font so it's easy to read. So to do that, I just click on one of the numbers and it'll highlight all of them. Go over to Home, over here and change it to white. I'm going to bold them too. And there's your pie chart. Make it a little bigger, easier to read. It tells you who's participating the most and who you probably want to treat best in your company. Next, we're going to want to add our column chart. To do this, we're going to insert another graph. It's going to be column this time though. Oops. And our criteria is going to be our service, control and hold, and your total charge. Now we can go to insert graph. And we don't have to do much work to this one. Besides, it tells us to change the name to total charges. And we want to add an axis title to the y-axis only and label it total cost. So go here, axis titles. You can either just click on it and delete this one and then change this, or you can go and select only the y. So we're going to change this to total cost. Next it says to add a data table to the bottom of the chart. So to do that, we go here and add a data table. Shows you how much it is. Per your job. Looks right, make it bigger. Looks good. From there, you have your Excel done. Next, we're going to move on to Word. You're going to want to save this, and we're going to use it in our Word, so keep it up. Now we're going to begin our Word. Basically, we're going to make a receipt and a thank you letter for using our service to our customer. So, we are going to start off by, in the instructions it says to first start off by adding a header to your company name in the upper right hand section. So to add a header, we can either go to insert header, or we can just double click over here and it pops up the header. It says in the upper right hand section, so we can just tab 2 times and it'll bring us to this side. It'll be, mine is Rogers Landscaping Company. And we're going to want to change the font size and the color to make it look nicer and more professional. So I'm going to change mine to decent size, 18. Change the font, make it look professional and nice. And we're going to change the color too. I'm going to make mine nice green. And to get out of this, we would simply press enter. Oh. Oops, not enter. Just click down here. And then now we're going to want to start by using header 1, which is up here, and add your company's name again and show your contact information. So right here, it's going to be Rogers Landscaping Company again. You can press enter and notice how it goes to normal again. It's not you're not in heading. So you can type your address. You can make it up if you please, or if you used a real company, you can use that address too. Add your address, your city, state, and zip. And your phone number. Once again, you can make it up, or if you have a real company, you can use that one. And the date. This is going to be an insertation though. So you're going to go to insert and then date and time. And then you can choose your date. I'm going to choose 16th of November 2016. This one. And you're going to want to update automatically with this one because per your receipt you're going to have continual receipts and therefore you don't want to keep on updating it. So okay. We're going to want to compact this, so we're going to go back to home and remove the space after paragraph. Make it look nice, so probably make it bigger. Probably 12, 14 font, probably 12. Next, our information tells us to use mail merge to retrieve the name and address of your clients. To do this, we're going to want to space twice, maybe 3, 4, make it look whatever you want. You're going to want to go to the Mailings tab. Okay, to add the mail merge, we're going to want to open our Excel again, right here. And we're going to need to name this table the data table mail merge. Something like that, something that you can identify. And then we're going to save it. And we have to close it too. Back in the Word, we go to select recipients. Use that, what I click? Use an existing list. This is going to use Excel as a link, essentially. And then go to our copy of Excel, or cell, this one. And we're going to click on our table, the one we just made, the mail merge. And we're going to click OK. And this is just going to ask us if it's going to tell us we have an invalid mail merge, but it's going to be OK. And then for this, we're going to just erase that, and we can add fields. So you want to add the first, space, and last name. Next, you're going to want to add their address. This is where it's shipping. You're shipping your thing to, your receipt to. So you're going to add their address, which is that one, comma, enter, add your city and state and your zip. So enter city, comma, state, comma, zip. Oops, no one. Zip. Add spaces in here too. And if yours is appearing in a different way like this, you just go up here and press preview results and that, and then you can change your recipients to whatever you want. It'll go through the whole thing. Next, we're going to add a greeting line. So go down after the address, a couple lines, and go up here to greeting line. You can do whatever you want. You can do dear to. I'm going to do dear. And then you choose what you want it to say. Mr. Randall, Mr. and Mrs. Randall. I'm going to have it say just the normal name. So it's going to be Josh Randall Jr. And there's going to be a comma after it. So I'm going to press OK. And oops. Might do that. So just erase this. Go back to the green line. Okay, so for what I forgot to do is to add what it's going to relate to. So go back to greeting line. Up here it's going to tell you the same stuff. And for invalid recipients, things it can't find a match to, it's just going to say dear sir or madame. What you have to do is change your first name and your last name to Rick, or your first and last name, whatever names you created. And if you had a suffix, then add your suffix. But I just did first and last name, so you go to there and there. And you go, okay. So this is what it's going to preview as. Dear Ryan Johnson, which is good. So you got your greeting line out of the way. Next, our instructions tell us to make a message. The message should include an invoice of the work done on the date, which you don't want to update automatically, and the service that was done. You want to include 3 mail merge fields. Everyone's message is going to be different, so I'm just going to do that offline, and I'm going to tell you how to do the mail merges. So to add the fields, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to say something like, thank you for your supporting us on, say, the date, we'll say. So you're going to go back here, and you're going to look for the date, which is this one. It's not formatted, so it looks like it's just a bunch of numbers, but it's really a date. The date that it was done. And then mention what service that was done. So you could just go back here, and it'll be shoveling snow for me, or whatever you did. Whatever Ryan Johnson did, which was mowing a lawn. And add one more mail merge. I don't know. I don't care what it is. Just maybe the amount. Something. Also notice how your mail merges will fill in like this instead of normal words like this. When you click on it, it's going to be different. Next, you want to thank your customers for their service. In your instructions, it says to change, add your, you want to thank them. So thank them, just say thank you for using Rogers Landscaping, blah blah blah, something along those lines. We look forward to seeing you again, something like that. Next, you want to say sincerely, comma, enter, enter, and this is where you're going to want to put your name and make it like a signature. So you're going to want to basically just highlight it, go to home, find one that's cursive or something along those lines. I'm going to use this one. You want to make it bigger so they can notice it. And then enter. Change it back to 12 font. And then put your name in normal format. Just like that. Bold your name too. Enter, and then add a page break. Next, we're going to add the receipt per person. That's our generalization of the receipt. Now we're going to go specifically and add a receipt per the customer. To do this, we're going to add a table. So go to Insert, Table. Make it decent size because we're gonna manipulate the boxes and their cells. I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're gonna want a minimum of 6 wide and probably about 6 down. So I'm just gonna do 7 and 7. We're gonna want to drag these down all the way to the bottom. Make it fill about the whole page. You can move this and center it and whatever. So now you just have a bunch of tables, or a bunch of cells. We're going to change this, and we can go per cell and delete cells and shift them up or shift them left, right, whatever. And that'll delete them like this. To make these lines disappear, we can also go here into split cells. If you want to split a cell into half like this, I don't think you'll need that one. To insert cells, you can go to Table Tools up here and insert above, insert below, insert left, right, all that. There's multiple ways to do this too. It's not just the table. You can use Word and other things too. I'm going to show you how to do it with the table. To erase and merge cells, basically, you can go to the eraser up here and erase the borders you want gone. So for example, you're going to want to put your company logo or name in the top cells of your receipt. So erase those and then type your name. And then, make it look nice and big. Change the font color too. There, you got your heading done. Next, you want to add the company's address in city, state, and zip. So basically, you can just come up here and copy this for datum and paste it down here. And you can erase this cell if you want, or you can make it bigger. Oops. Right, and when you erase something like that, it'll erase everything in the cell. So you want to erase it before you put it in. Make this bold. Over here, you're going to want to add your client's information. So you're going to start off by deleting this cell, and in this box right here, we're going to do 2, and we can make that to the left side and all that Shazam. Next, you're going to go back to the Mailings tab and add your merge fields. So add your first and last name. Enter their address. comma, enter their city, state, and zip. Space, oops, undo that, space, Michigan, comma, and their zip. And you can also drag it out like this too to make it fit all. There, now you got your basics done. Now we have to add the what your job was. So you're going to say the date it was completed, how much the rate was per hour, the description of the job or the service, the time it took in hours, the job code, which they probably don't care about, and the total charge, which is probably what they do care about the most. And then down here we'll add the mail merges like before. So the date will be this one. The rate per hour will be this one. The description, shoveling snow, time, job code, and the total charge. That'll be the last one. And since this is copying just the numbers, you're going to want to add a $sign in between that and this one. And down here, you're going to want to thank them for their service. So we'll erase these 3 or so. Or you can just erase them all. Okay, I'll erase them all. And then thank them for their service. That's all we have to do. Next we're going to have to just pretty it up. So you can just put this on the left side, make it a different font, make it bigger maybe, different color, do whatever you have to do. And to erase the borders, you're just going to highlight everything. So, oops. Highlight everything. Go over to your table tools, design, go to borders, and remove the borders, no borders. And you should end up with a receipt looking like this. Also, if you wanted to add borders just to this cell, you would highlight, oops. You would highlight just these and add a bottom border. Just like that. And that's all you have to do for the Word project. To do the PowerPoint, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll walk through it anyways. Our instructions tell us to follow the instructions in the notes of the PowerPoint, which is down here. We're going to pick a basic background for our presentation and make sure everything is formatted to look professional. So, we want to enable editing. And to change, I'm going to change the design. I'll just change it to the wood one. I'm going to say Rogers Landscaping. And say who it's by. Presentation opening. So we're going to want to look at the notes again where it says, remember you work for a landscaping company. That's me. You can work for whatever you want to work for. Hair company, salon, whatever. And you are compiling all the customer information for the past month to send out for invoices for a payment. You're also using the compiled information to present to your boss how the company is doing in the last month. For this slide, be sure to include at least 3 bullets, 7 to 10 words per bullet, explaining what this presentation to your boss is about. You may want to make this information up, but be realistic. So you can say whatever you want to say, but something along the lines of being realistic, and tell them you compiled all the jobs from the last month and recorded their income and from whom they were from. You made a basic Word document, so include that. So you want to say developed a Word document to display customers' services and charges per the customer. And lastly, just include something, what this presentation is about and what you're going to do. So you're going to describe to them, described the basic jobs and essential potential financial future of the company. Something like that, just fudge it or something. Don't fudge it, but like make it look professional and describe it. Okay, for these next slides, you're going to want to use the snipping tool and go back to your Excel. And include what it tells you to include. So for this one, it says to import the job codes from sheet, and this one's the data table. And just go on and do that. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to add the pictures and describe them and label the headings appropriately, so on and so forth. But to do that, you're going to go to Excel, pull up your Excel, and then go back to the Start menu. Mine pops up to do something different. You're going to want to type in Snipping Tool, double click on it. This should pop up. You can also use print screen too, that works too. I'll show you how to do both. This one's typically easy. So you got this, so you're going to just press new, and you're going to want to grab what you want to take the picture of. So I'm just going to grab this, and it makes it into a picture. Then you can file and save somewhere you know. I'm just going to save it into downloads. And then you can pull it up in your PowerPoint and paste it. Insert, picture, downloads. And there you go. You can do that for all of them. And for this conclusion slide, you can basically do what they say and conclude what you're talking about in your results, and add 2 related images. It can be Microsoft clip art or it can be real pictures. Doesn't matter, just include 2 pictures. And then you'll have your PowerPoint done. Submit them all and you should be good.